Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am James Phoenix, and this is another WWE Fantasy Log. With me is John.
Hello.
Jeff will be here at some point when he gets off his lazy fucking ass and shows up. Presumably, we'll see if and when that happens. So, this is our usual show where we go through some wrestling news and then we cover Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live while scoring the Fantasy League. And we're going to do that. But first, I'm going to switch his air conditioner back over to air because it's kind of hot in here. Okay. Ow. So, my screen flipped to another window for a minute. Sorry.
Oh.
Throw me off. I highlighted a tab at the bottom and it jumped up on the screen. So, we're going to start off with the news as we always do, and we'll see. There's a lot of news tonight. I got a dozen news pieces. Some of them are long. So, Jeff may show up before the end of the news. We'll find out. So, John, what do you think? It's about 1:30. Should we, I don't know, dock him, 50 points for every 10 minutes he's late?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd love to see that on a sheet, just be like late points and negative whatever, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Yes.
See if he ever notices.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to start with the various news items and go from there. We have a lot of them, so let's tear into it, shall we? All right. We're going to start off with this one. This is kind of minor, but it's worth just mentioning again. So, as people might be aware, Booker T has been serving with the Raw announce team in recent weeks. In a spot that was originally slated for David Otunga in a trade for SmackDown when Byron Saxton went to SmackDown Live. However, David Otunga left to go film a movie, and as a result, Booker's been filling in the slot. And it's worth noting that David Otunga returned at Extreme Rules and was serving on the pre-show panel, whereas Booker T was still on the commentary team. So originally, it was believed that Booker T was simply given the position permanently with the belief that he was a better fit for the group than Otunga was, or would have been. However, that seems to not necessarily be the case.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sorry, over here. Because apparently, in further information, slight correction, apparently what actually happened was that David Otunga was only at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view because he had a day off from shooting. He's not fully back yet. That's why Booker T was still on the actual commentary. In a few weeks' time, Otunga will be back full-time, but it remains to be seen whether he will regain his place at commentary or whether Booker T will keep doing it. Because while Booker T is only intended to be temporary, the general consensus seems to be that Booker has been better in the role. So we will see what happens there. All right, now we're going to take a moment here to talk about some sad things. We do have some injuries, illnesses, and other such things to discuss briefly. First of all, 2 Hall of Famers were injured this past week. One of which was, unfortunately, WWE Hall of Famer Harley Race, who took a fall in his home in Troy, Missouri, and unfortunately broke both his legs. According to WWE.com, he sustained a fracture to his right femur, breaks in his left fibula and tibia, as well as a spiral break of his left ankle. He required emergency surgery to relieve the swelling in both of his legs and subsequently received 4 blood transfusions and underwent surgery this past Friday to reset the fractures. So, we wish Harley Race a speedy recovery. Now, moving on to Hall of Famers injured via their own stupidity rather than accidents. WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair posted on his Facebook page footage of him with a severely broken pinky finger and seemed to infer that such injury was sustained in a fight against a Golden State Warriors fan. Flair saying in his tweet, "One Warrior fan down, left hand still good. Be in the land on Wednesday. Rihanna, move over and let the Nate show you how it's done. No pain, no gain. Let's do it, Cavs. Woo! Cleveland Cavaliers. So, yeah, whoever's dumb enough to pick a fight with Ric Flair, you deserve whatever he did to you, because I'm guessing it's a lot worse than a broken pinky. In one that is not directly related to wrestling, but somewhat related to wrestling. Smith Hart, the elder brother of, eldest actually brother of Bret the Hitman Hart, and of course the late Owen Hart, was moved to hospice care as he's been battling cancer recently. He's 68 years old, and he posted the following message on Facebook, saying, "I am now more comfortable after being moved into hospice care. I'd like to end any strife or suffering I've been involved with over my life. To anyone and everyone, cherish the moments you have in this world. Do not waste your time with hate or anger. To anyone I have offended, mistreated, or been at odds with, please accept my humblest of apologies. While I may not have always been everyone's cup of tea, I always did my best to be the person I was most inspired by, my father. I would also like to thank my dear friend Carl LeDuc for making the visit from Montreal to come see me. It meant the world, and I really like the new phone." So we wish Smith Hart the best in his battle with cancer and hope that he is well soon. All right. Let's continue. Now let's go into a category that I like to call "What the fuck, WWE?" I can't remember if you were here when I mentioned this earlier in the week or not. And I mentioned it to Jeff. According to documents that are on the internet today, WWE appears to be venturing into the concept of opening a theme park.
Interesting.
Apparently, they've been working with a company called Forek, an international entertainment design corporation, to create a theme park with WWE branded attractions. Some of the attractions would include a moonsault ride, the Rock Bottom, Suplex City, as well as Triple H's Sledgehammer. Also, a dark ride entitled Road to WrestleMania and a John Cena roller coaster would be included. Also, is expected to be attractions such as an NXT Boot Camp, Royal Rumble, an Andre the Giant Funhouse, and a literal House of Horrors. Likely to be branded with The Undertaker and other performers. Bray Wyatt. And it's not known whether such theme park would be indoors or outdoors, but there's been speculation for a number of years they've been looking into this with a possible location in Orlando, Florida. There is a PDF on Forek's website beginning on page 26 where you can see more information. All right. So, let's talk about Great Balls of Fire, the upcoming Raw branded pay-per-view.
Goodness gracious.
Yes. First of all, it's something that was only brought to my attention shortly before I went on the air. The logo looks like a penis. It does. Sasha Banks said it does. Everybody sees it. You fail, WWE Graphics Department. You fail.
Insert the "that's a penis" gif.
Yes.
What did they fail at?
Hey, look who showed up.
All right.
Great Balls of Fire is a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a penis. And to Jeff's credit, he made it in under 10 minutes from when I said that, so he's not going to get docked any points.
Yeah, fuck you.
Anyway, in relation to the WWE Great Balls of Fire thing, Jerry Lawler had something to say. He was on this week's episode of Dinner with the King. He was with Glenn Moore, and they gave insight about how they got the Great Balls of Fire. Lawler said that apparently WWE, just where they came up with the name, I don't know, but WWE apparently came up with the name and started advertising the pay-per-view. And Jerry Lawler says, my personal attorney here in Memphis is Joe Barton, good friend of mine and also my personal attorney. I got a phone call from Joe a few weeks ago, and because Joe also represents Jerry Lee Lewis. And Joe said, "Hey, Jerry, do you happen to know who I would contact at WWE about copyright infringement?" I go, "What? What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, we understand they're doing a pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire, and Jerry Lee had that phrase trademarked. He has ever since they recorded the song. So I put him in touch with the WWE people, gave him a name. Apparently he called them, they got everything worked out, and not only are they using the name, now they're using Jerry Lee's song, which is awesome." So there you go. So you can thank Jerry Lawler for having the song for the pay-per-view and for the name being used at all and not being sued off the face of the planet.
Thanks, Lawler.
Okay. The recent apps. No, go away. What the fuck? Stupid Hangout. Anyway. Jeff, you missed. Otunga only showed up at Extreme Rules because he was taking a break from his movie, which is why he wasn't on commentary. But whether Booker's going to stay remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Race is recovering from leg injury. Ric Flair is recovering from beating up a Golden State Warriors fan. And what was the other thing I mentioned? Oh, and Bret Hart's eldest brother, Smith Hart, has been moved into hospice care as a result of his fight with cancer, which is unfortunate. You got all that?
Enough.
Okay, let's continue. More news. We have much news. So,
Oh, yes, we do.
do you have news as well?
Trying to find it.
He doesn't.
If it's what John said you and he were talking about the other day, I have it already, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I have the follow-up to that.
I have the follow-up also. I have the full transcript of his video.
He's gonna read it.
I'm gonna read both, so we'll get there. I'm saving that for the
You're
end.
going to read the long-ass letter?
I'm not gonna read the whole letter. I'm gonna read sections of it.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I will. In the meantime, in the neighborhood of things WWE should have done a long time ago, apparently this week WWE held what appears to be presentations or meetings with wrestlers on Raw and SmackDown before the TV tapings this week, or we should say the TV shootings this week, regarding the security of their online social media accounts. It was a result of, in recent months, of several of the women experiencing breaches where private nude photos were released without authorization. The talent were taught how people could get access to their accounts and what steps they should take to ensure their accounts remain private and to minimize threats of a breach. We'll see if it works. All right. I normally save this to the end, but given that we have something bigger for the end this week, I'm going to get the 7 deities out of the way now.
Okay.
We have a number of reports regarding the 7 deities. First of all, Jeff Hardy was interviewed earlier this week on the Talk is Jericho podcast. Drink it in, man. On the concept of the broken gimmick and the possibility of it being used. And Jeff said, we talked about on the Broken Universe self saying, he loved the concept. And on using the broken gimmick, he says, no, there hasn't been talk of doing so because we did the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which is when we got the whole cease and desist letter saying if we used it, we're going to sue you and sue Ring of Honor. I think this network didn't even air the pay-per-view because of that threat. It said the Broken Universe character is specifically developed for Matt and Jeff Hardy, and that is so far from the truth. Yeah, and even Billy Corgan. I love Billy, man. He was right out there with us, man, throughout 2 long nights of filming. Yeah, he almost owned it, and I think, honestly, I'd probably still be there now if it would have worked out. It's cool to hear people chant Brother Nero even here. Hopefully one of these days I will emerge as the Brother Nero. So. We'll see how that goes. Let's do this next one here. Is this the one I want to use next, or is there another one? I have several of these. I might have these in the wrong order. Let me see. Yes, okay. So, more for Talk is Jericho. Jeff talked a little bit about, coming back to WWE. Is there anything relevant here? I didn't actually read this. He said he thinks fans wants to see the Hardys together as opposed to feuding with each other, so he doesn't think that'll be happening in the future. Yeah, bottom line is people don't really want to see that. It's cool for us, like Brett and Owen wrestling each other years ago. We loved that naturally for us back in the day. It was awesome. But yeah, bottom line is people would rather see us together than apart. So we probably won't be seeing them feuding with each other if they do end up splitting up. And lastly, happy news. Always nice to end any given small segment with some happy news. I don't know whether you have heard, but there is potentially a new member of the Broken Universe.
Yay.
Because, of course, Rebby Hardy had her baby. So Matt and Rebby do have a new member of their family, identified in Matt's retweet as Wolfie Wolfgang X Hardy, born on June 8th at 11:37 p.m. King Maxwell was excited to meet his healthy younger brother. Thanks, all. So that is, of course, why the Hardys dropped the tag titles and are not around right now, so they can spend time with their new family member.
As
So,
we mentioned
congratulations
on
to the whole
Thursday.
Hardy family. Wonderful. Applause to the Hardys.
Mhm.
Now, let's get into some more interesting stuff here. I still have many things. This one I found this one interesting. I was a little surprised. I mean, I'm not totally surprised by this, but it's still interesting when you see it in print. Because apparently, in the latest issue of Sports Business Journal, which is apparently a periodical that exists, the cover story was actually a piece on the aging audience of television viewers pretty much across all sports. As far as wrestling goes, they indicated that the median age of wrestling fans in 2000 was 28 years old. In 2006, it was 33, and by 2016, it was all the way up to 54. Which, while 54 seems way too high, the belief is that Raw viewers average in the early 40s now, and SmackDown is a little higher, around the mid to late 40s. They highlight the fact that fans who were in their late teens or early 20s in 97 are now in their late 30s to early 40s, and this demographic is largely still around. However, there has been a huge decrease in the number of kids and teenagers turning in now compared to 20 years ago. One way to look at that from a live perspective is that in the 80s and 90s, it was more kids who talked to their parents into going to a wrestling event, whereas now it's the other way around. Whereas parents who like wrestling end up talking to their kids, but the kids don't watch it on TV. If you're interested, for comparison's sake, the following other sports were changed from 2000 to 2016 as follows. Figure skating went from 54 to 64. Horse racing from 51 to 63. Men's tennis from 51 to 61. Women's tennis, 58 to 56. That went down a little bit. Olympics, 45 to 53. College football, 47 to 52. College basketball, 44 to 52. NFL, 44 to 50. NBA, 40 to 42. NHL, 33 to 49. MLB, 52 to 57. Boxing, 45 to 49. And UFC 34 to 49, although it's noted UFC didn't have TV in 2000, so that changes from 06 to 16. So, basically, young people are not watching TV anymore.
No,
At least
they're
not
watching
TV
Netflix.
sports. Yeah, pretty much. Netflix and chill, man.
And the WWE Network for only $9.99.
Indeed. So, now, Jeff, I'm going to... we've all been wondering about this, mostly you, because he's on your roster.
Uh-oh.
And we now have an answer.
Yes.
WWE superstar Austin Aries
Is injured.
Yeah. Recently appeared as a guest on Busted Open Radio. During his appearance, he revealed that he's dealing with some nagging injuries and is going to take some time off as a result. Saying, I've got some stuff going on, but just to be fair, you could probably say that for a lot of the locker room. It's kind of part of what we do. I don't think anybody's ever 100%. He revealed he'll be taking a hiatus, saying, so I got a couple things going on, and obviously at this point it might be a good time to take a little break, Aries added, which really could consist of 2 days to just adjust some of those things, try and get my mind and body right, and then come back and figure out what's going to be next and what the direction's going to be. So, Austin Aries probably taking some time off.
Yeah, probably not a whole lot of time. So it
No,
should be
probably
okay,
a few weeks, maybe a month.
if that.
Yeah. All right, what else?
But he said all he really needed was a few days, which means he might like miss a show or something.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So, we have some more details on the upcoming WWE Women's Tournament that they're going to be holding. You might remember us mentioning that in previous weeks.
The Mae Young Classic.
Indeed, the Mae Young Classic. The plan is for the tournament is that all the matches except the finals are going to be taped on July 13th and July 14th that weekend. But they are not going to be released weekly like they were with the Cruiserweight Classic. Instead, the schedule is that they're going to release 16 matches, the equivalent of 5 to 6 shows, on the network on August 20th, and then the remaining 14 matches, or another 5 shows, will be released in early September, with the finals set to air on September 12th live on the WWE Network, and likely to take place at the SmackDown Live show in Las Vegas that night. So stay tuned for all of that coming August and September.
Indeed.
Let's see. We got an interesting update on Total Divas
Okay.
Woo.
because we found out that there is going to be some changes in the Total Divas cast.
Okay.
Because it is worth noting, number one, it's worth noting Renee Young did note that she will not be in Total Divas this upcoming season.
Okay.
However, joining the cast of Total Divas will be returning the SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi,
Oh, brother.
as well as the newcomers to Total Divas, the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss and her current opponent Nia Jax.
That could be interesting, but Naomi, really? I thought the show, from what I understand from John, who actually watches the show, I think you actually watch it once in a while, don't you?
I've seen like a few minutes of a few episodes, but that was like 2 years ago.
Okay, well maybe it was someone else. I can't remember who I was talking to, but apparently the
Wasn't
show
me.
got instantly better after Naomi left.
Mm. Well, if I thought you ever talked to him, I would say Mole. He watches that show regularly.
He hearts it.
He does.
Maybe it was Mole, because maybe I think I was still talking to him at the time, like she left.
No, okay.
Don't
Fair
remember
enough.
when she left, but
But anyway, yeah, so that happened. Also in related women's news, by the way, Emma returned to in-ring action this past weekend, participating in a house show in Jackson, Mississippi, teaming with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax in a losing effort against Sasha, Mickey, and Dana.
Oh shit, Dana Brooke.
I know.
yep,
I forgot about her.
I know. While Dana Brooke appeared.
she was on Raw.
She was.
I don't see Raw, so I don't.
It's true. And with that, it's time. For those who are unaware, as we did mention I don't know if we mentioned on the air last week, but there was recently, not the most recent episode, but the second most recent episode of the WWE Network show Table for Three. Appearing on that episode were Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, and Michael P.S. Hayes. As one might expect, Jim Cornette and Eric Bischoff took the opportunity to take some digs at former Booker Vince Russo. Cornette going on to claim that Vince Russo emails Vince McMahon every week after Raw begging for a job and generally taking some cheap shots at his, at Vince Russo in general. Apparently, from what I understand, Vince Russo in one of his podcasts somewhere along the way responded to this. I don't know any details about that particular response, only that somebody in the YouTube comments on Cornette's video noted that he, and I quote, contradicted himself 45 times in 15 minutes.
Yeah, apparently Vince Russo basically said, "Hey Jim, why don't we get everything out of our system and have like a Skype debate?" To which Jim Cornette had the following response on his own podcast.
Yes, allow me.
Yes.
So apparently, basically Vince Russo tried to get it on iPay-per-view and saying that they should any money raised should be donated to charity. So that's where that offer came in. Okay, and so Jim Cornette responded. There is a full 10-minute video you can find of his entire rant on this, but I'm going to read a segment of it that's here. So you want to make challenges about going on people's podcasts and giving the money to charity and all this other stuff, because you know that ain't going to happen, because we got nothing to talk about, Cornette said during the show. But I'm making you a legitimate offer. I swear, on my mother's grave, if you give me a date, a time, and an address, I will meet you there, and I will bring $5,000 in cash, which you can have if you can take it from me. As long as the rules are no guns, no knives, and no cops. And what happens, happens. And if you don't fucking take me up on that, you piece of shit, then shut your fucking dick liquor from now on. Because I'm sick and fucking fed up with y'all, and everybody else is too. You've been found out. Nobody believes in you anymore. Everybody knows what you're all about. You've stabbed everybody in the back you've ever worked with. You've killed guys' careers with your goofy gimmicks. You made the wrestling business a fucking joke with your fucking ADD goddamn booking and your Jerry Springer show horse shit. And most of all, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I will prove it. Send me the date, the time, and the place, or shut the fuck up.
Jerry.
I was hoping you do the couldn't get his dick up because he couldn't provide for his family line.
No, that was before that. There's a full 10-minute video. I encourage everyone to go watch it if you have the opportunity. I'll put a link in the description. I have it here, but I encourage you to take a look. But yeah, Cornette went off on a number of other things, including that Vince Russo lives in his wife's parents' basement. The fact you can't provide for you haven't been employed in 5 years. I'm surprised your wife's probably on the verge of divorcing you. You probably can't even get your dick hard because you can't even provide for your family. Because you know how little of a man you are. Saying, sound like let's have it out. We'll go find in a park somewhere. We'll find a nice secluded area. I know where you're living now. It's not that far. We'll settle this. No guns, no knives, no cops. I said no guns, no knives. That doesn't mean I'm gonna beat you with my bare hands. I got a bat. I can find a stick. We're gonna settle this once and for all. $5,000.
Well, Jim, get your Brooklyn ready. Because it's time for the response to the response.
Yes. Let me get the other link here.
Because Vince Russo, yeah.
I'm not going to read his entire thing because it's long as hell. Somebody did transcript the video, but I'm going to read a segment of it specifically because in classic Vince Russo fashion, it swerved.
It did, and it's just like, I love Vince Russo accuses Jim Cornette of doing a shoot promo and then responds with a shoot promo. Like, wait, what? No, it doesn't work that way, Vince.
Well, anyway,
it's like most of your career.
Pretty much. Hang on a second. There's a goddamn ad. There's a full screen ad blocking me from doing anything. What the fuck?
Also, Vince Russo's entire little letter / rant thing here / shoot promo confirms he has a thing for asses.
Yeah.
Because I dare you to count how many times he says or references asses in his letter.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only insult or like bad word he knows is ass. You're just like, wait, dude, what?
PG Russo.
Right?
Come on, fucking ad. Get out of the way.
And then, of course, there's one part of it where I say Bischoff says what? Because near the end of it, he says, because I don't think Jim's going to talk about this part, he says that that during his time at both WWE and WCW, like, ratings went up. And, like, that he was basically, like, the godsend to WWE and WCW. I'm like, Bischoff says what?
Yeah, no, I think I am going to talk about. I think I am going to talk about that part, but we'll see.
Okay.
I had to get the page up again. Fucking. Oh, by the way, the other thing Cornette mentioned during his rant was the fact that Vince Russo has alienated everybody he's ever worked with, including the last person you worked with, that goofy douchebag Dixie Carter, who had to hide from everyone the fact she was even talking to you because she knew if their network found out she was talking to you, her show would be canceled, which it was. And she knew that if the talent found out she's talking to you, all her top talent would leave because they all know what kind of shit you pull.
Yeah. Oh no, that's what it was. He was saying it was WCW and TNA while he was like basically in control in those two places. He the ratings went steadily up while he was there. I'm like, Jeff Jarrett says what?
Okay, so basically Vince Russo did this video where he started off titling it an apology from Vince Russo. And he basically started talking about Jim Cornette's last video, saying the statement's been 18 years in the making. He counters some of Cornette's claim by mentioning that I was outside mowing my 5.5 acres around my log cabin around my lake.
Your lake, Vince? Your lake. I don't think so.
A property which I own thanks in large part to my hard work in the wrestling business.
Crystal Lake?
Yeah. You may own the property around the lake, Vince. You don't own the lake itself, and I think the state in which you live says what?
Saying after 18 years of make sure that I was trying to figure out what he wants. I offered to debate him with all the money going to the Cauliflower Alley Club, going to charity, because I based my arguments on facts. But Jim turned down that offer. What Jim would like to do is not have a civilized conversation. He wants to have a fight. No cameras, no guns, no knives.
How come you're not using your Brooklyn accent?
I'm just summarizing this part till I get to the part I'm going to read as him.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'm just summarizing the earlier parts to get the general message out.
You're not doing your people justice.
He's got to get his Brooklyn rage going.
Brooklyn rage.
Brooklyn rage. Yeah.
Yeah. That. Now I want that just because it'd be hilarious. Reading a Vince Russo like rambling with the Joey Wheeler voice.
That'd be funny.
Anyway,
But anyway, he basically says he's not crazy. He's not going to fight Jim Cornette because he knows Jim Cornette would kick his ass. Saying, you have to look at that barn door wide ass. You have to look at that Kamala belly. You have to look at those Gumby like arms. Would I want to mix it up with somebody like that? Surely I'd have to be out of my mind because no doubt an ass kicking will be coming my way. So yes, I'm afraid of Jim Cornette, that rippled, chiseled stomach. As far as the $5,000, I think Jim still thinks we're in Memphis circa 1970, where $5,000 actually meant something.
That's
Jim,
not a Brooklyn accent.
I know, I'm slipping out of it. Hang on. Jim, $5,000 is not a lot of money. I don't need your $5,000. I'm doing fine, Jim. I'm on the #1 podcasting network in the country, Podcast One, bro. $5,000, but aside from all that, again, what was it that Cornette wanted? What is he looking for? Which I will tell you right now, there won't be any personal attacks from me in this statement.
And then he continues to do nothing but personally attack him.
Well, he says he's not going to insult Jim Cornette's mother or anybody's wives or anything else.
True.
And he basically summarizes saying that Cornette is like a pimple on the ass that won't go away. And saying that he realized after all this years, finally, as I'm mowing the Russo estates, the light bulb goes off that
Russo estates.
Yeah. The 18 years of the same entire act over and over. What's Jim Cornette looking for? An apology. And once you apologize to a man and say, I'm sorry, there's nothing left. You can't go any further than that. So he goes into this apology, which reads as follows.
Please try to get the accent.
I'll try. I mean, I can try.
You're a New Yorker!
I'm not from Brooklyn.
He's not
No, but you've done the accent before very, very well, I might add.
Who have I done the accent for?
I don't know, just slipping into the New York accent.
I don't do it intentionally.
No, like when you're trying to like mock people like Vince Russo and stuff like that.
Like who?
Like I said, Vince Russo. You've done it before for Vince Russo.
No, I haven't.
Because I know I've heard you use the accent before. It's like, okay, yeah, we need Jim to be doing New York accents because number one, he's from New York. Number two, he does it very well. Probably because he's from New York.
Okay. I mean, I still not. I can talk like a stereotypical mafia guy, but
That'll work for Vince Russo. Go for it.
yeah. Jim Cornette, I apologize. I apologize for a lot of things. First and foremost, I wanted to apologize for you blowing out your knees for falling off that scaffold because you're a mark who didn't know how to take a bump. I want to apologize for you putting Smoky Mountain Wrestling out of business. I want to apologize, Jim, for you being fired from Ring of Honor for a public and emotional outburst. I want to apologize, Jim, for being fired by the WWE for assaulting another employee.
That's basically Vince Russo's accent.
I want to apologize, Jim, because I am from New York. I want to apologize, Jim, because in my entire life, I was never fixed to do anything. I want to apologize, Jim, that I don't believe that the Dukes of Hazzard is a reality show. I want to apologize that I never went on national television and dressed like the village idiot. I want to apologize that I never asked a wrestler to chew on an Alka-Seltzer so it can appear that they're foaming at the mouth. I want to apologize that even the great Terry Funk didn't get over when you had him come out of a box. But Jim, perhaps the two most important things. I want to apologize for setting ratings records at both WWE and TNA, and also raising the ratings at WCW the whole 9 months that I was there. I sincerely apologize for that. And last but not least, Jim, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize for both Dixie Carter and Vincent Kennedy McMahon for choosing me over you. Because at the end of the day, 18 years later, that's what this is all about. It sticks in your craw because no matter what you do or say, no matter what asinine promo you cut, it does not go away. From a creative standpoint, the numbers clearly dictate that I was better than you, and I know that it's hard for you to accept and hard for you to deal with. So that is why, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I am sorry, and I hope from this moment we can move forward. With that being said, Jim, I hope you will take this apology. Relax, sit back. I would say grab a cold one, but I know you don't drink, so maybe eat a sandwich, maybe an ice cream, maybe a piece of fruit, maybe an apple or an orange, maybe enjoy a good banana. But relax, accept this apology, and let's move on. Thank you very much.
That's effectively the Vince Russo accent.
Fair enough.
Have you not heard him talk? Look, bro.
Look, bro.
Pretty much. So
that is where we're at.
The only reason WWE picked you over Jim Cornette is because Vince knew he could control your stupid ass and get to the genius behind the stupid. Jim Cornette, he's just a loose cannon. It's like, I can't control him. Fuck it, he's gone.
Ay.
Yeah. Yeah, Vince is still full of himself.
Yeah.
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 So, where do you think this is going to end? Do you think the feud's going to continue? Well, it probably is. Cornette's probably going to respond to this because it's Cornette.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we're going to have the ongoing segment of Cornette v. Russo every week.
Pretty much. If they keep going, I'll do it.
Add that with the Shrine of the Seven Deities as the weekly news segment.
Shoot promo on a pole match.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. Yeah, I love some of the comments on the article that I was reading, where they're like, they should settle this at Great Balls of Fire, and someone was like, well, then it's got to be an on a pole match. I mean, it's Great Balls of Fire. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Great Balls of Fire on a pole match.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Russo estate because I picture that he saw the Broken Hardy shit and he's like, I came up with that. I'm going to do that. And so he thinks of his thing as like the Russo universe or
The
some
broken
shit.
Russo universe.
Yes. The Russo estate. And he's like, yeah. And then
Oh.
my brother's going to have a drone come and fight me. And it's like, the fuck? You don't even have a what?
Yeah, somebody in the comments mentioned apparently his brother works for like ESPN Sports, something shows every once in a while, and is apparently even more of an asshole than he is.
I believe it.
Also, the other thing I forgot to mention that Jim Cornette did in his promo is he stated outright that if I thought I could get away with it without going to jail, I would murder you.
And then you would get thank you Cornette chants.
Okay.
That's how you get into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think just beating his ass would be sufficient.
Yeah.
That needs to be a WrestleMania event. The ending of the Cornette Russo feud, because that's like Russo said, that's an 18-year-long feud. So the end of that has to be huge. That would put butts in seats.
Yes.
If you have an opportunity, check out Jim Cornette's epic promo. It's worth it.
And Vince Russo's response, and then keep your eyes out for Cornette's inevitable response.
Pretty much.
Oh, hey.
Good times. Good times.
Oh man, and just with what Cornette said, you can already come up with like the subtitle for their match. It's like Cornette v. Russo, no guns, no knives, no cops, no mercy, and just
There
like
you go.
shit writes itself.
It does.
WWE No Mercy presents.
Yes,
It works.
a Brooklyn street fight.
There you go. Good times.
Kurt Angle pops up. We here in the wrestling business, we settle things in the ring. Now get out there. I'm locking both of you idiots in a hell in a cell. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
There you go. So, there we have that.
I think they need to do this, and then before the match can even start, Austin just comes out, stuns them both, and leaves like. You both suck. Or actually, even funnier, it's about to start, and then I'm back and better than ever.
Yeah, right.
Bischoff comes walking out in a gi. He's like, no. This is only going to end one way. He just karate kicks them both and leaves.
Pretty much. I wish somebody had written the entire transcript of the Cornette rant because I would read it.
I think we got enough of it.
Got most of the good parts.
You know, somebody went to the effort of transcribing Vince Russo's entire freaking video, and nobody did the Cornette rant. What the hell?
Oh, while you're looking for that, I want to show you this guy. I ran across this on Twitter, on Cornette's Twitter. Actually, he retweeted this. And it is a tweet from someone at Fat Kid Cool.
Okay, then.
Screen share. What the balls? Okay. Guess.
What the balls?
Check that out.
With the great balls?
Say Russo one more goddamn time.
Now let me focus it on you. Ha! There you go.
No one was harmed in the making of this tweet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck Russo. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, yes, that's awesome. Okay.
All right. We're going to listen to that rant again after we're done here, but I don't have a text of it, so we're going to have to move on to less entertaining things, such as Monday Night Raw. So let me fire up the old chart here. Where the hell's my chart? Your chart. Your charty. There we go. Put that out. Okay. So let's take a look at the scores. The post-Extreme Rules scores. Fire this up. Boom. Bam.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Wow.
What?
Well, I think I got a slightly longer transcript than what you got of Russo's thing.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The Archbishop of Talentberry.
Oh, you mean of Cornette's thing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, he called him that on the table for 3.
Yeah, he says, which I did get in the final cut of Table for 3.
Yep.
Here, you gotta read this. This is, you just what, Jim? Just what? Here, I'll link the article I'm looking at. Here, it's got a pretty long quote from Mr. Cornette. Thing is, I've got to think our old friend Fart Stench Shit Stain, of course, the Archbishop of Talentberry.
Wait, that's from the table for 3. That's the one I read to you the other day.
Is it?
Yes.
Because this was him talking on his on episode 183 of the Jim Cornette Experience. So he's talking about what he said on Table for 3 and then went into other stuff, and I'm just like, wow.
Okay then. The fuck? Could you not use sites with shitty fucking ads?
Sorry.
Anyway, scroll down. Anyway.
Oh, this sign in Stamford, Connecticut saying we'll book for food. Maybe you could get a sign. Russo, get a sign. Stand on a corner, Main Street in Stamford, Connecticut, saying we'll book for food. Jesus. Those must have been a different Jim Cornette experience, because this was, maybe he did 2 of them. This one was the one immediately after Table for Three, and then he did one where he did the big rant. But this is still like quality stuff. Oh my God!
No, I definitely read that to you.
This whole thing. Oh. And I
Yeah,
don't remember if there were any
c-
bridges or big buildings or monuments or anything that he could jump off of. But maybe if you see a flying Russo in Evansville in the Evansville area, it's probably because he jumped off of some high something to end it all after seeing Table for Three.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, there is a little bit. Okay, that little bit is new, but the top stuff was all what was there before. That was what I read to you.
Yeah, because he reiterated it. He said, which I did get in the final cut of Table for Three.
Yeah.
So he was reiterating that, but this was on his podcast, the Jim Cornette Experience, and he was just talking. This is after the fact, talking about stuff. It's actually kind of hilarious. Yeah, the first paragraph is him just reiterating what he said on Table for Three, according to what you said.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but then after that, yeah.
Obviously, if we talk for an hour and a half and Russo was the predominant part of that conversation, that indicates to me that some people in WWE just wanted to hear Vince Russo get the piss taken out of him. So keep calling, keep emailing and writing and begging, Vince. If you can get a sign, Russo, get a sign. Stand on a corner, Main Street in Stamford, Connecticut, saying, "We'll book for food."
Yep. Yeah, apparently Russo lives in Evansville, Indiana.
He does. Anyway.
I was trying to find I thought that was the transcript of the actual thing. I'm trying to find it. Anyway.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's move on. We got a lot of shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We always got time for Jim Cornette.
True, we've given him a lot of time already. There's limits.
Fair enough.
We got shit to do. As I was saying, yeah. I gotta put the thing back up. There we go. As I was saying, as of Extreme Rules, as you can see, currently in the lead still at 46.78 is Team Extreme, followed by the Certified Balor Club at 37.45, and trailing at 34.01, catching up, is Team Apocalypse. So, if we go over and take a look at the leaderboards for just a moment, you'll see that the United States champion and new face of America, Kevin Owens, still at the top at 393, followed by the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss at 363. Austin Aries, a double, holding in there at 326 at number 3, followed by the WWE Champion Jinder Mahal at 324. Finn Balor at 312, followed by the Cruiserweight Champion Neville. Neville. That's Neville. At 291, followed by Seth freaking Rollins at 285, Samoa Joe at 281, the number one contender to the Universal title, and Jeff Hardy at 276, and rounding out the top 10 is Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, at 274. Just barely edging out The Miz by 1 point. So, with all that, we're going to move on, and we're going to do the Monday Night Raw thing. So I'll just go ahead and do that, as we are wont to do. So, Raw this week is emanating from the Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
I gave my prerequisite Mick Foley thumbs up.
Okay, I can't see you. I have the recap up. So Raw opens up with us being welcomed by the commentating team, of course. We're informed that number one contender Samoa Joe is going to speak later in the program. And we are joined by the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, who comes out to the ring and cutting a promo saying that he's still a god after losing at Extreme Rules last night. He's here to cast judgment on his enemies.
Sure he is.
Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns are all guilty.
Hold it.
What?
Nice.
No, it was just a reference.
Okay. To what?
John got the reference.
Phoenix, right?
Ah.
Objection!
That would have been better. I would have gotten that one. Anyway, Roman Reigns comes out to the ring, and while Bray Wyatt says he was right on cue, Reigns snatches Bray's mic away and announces that the mixed crowd reaction is why he's the guy. He says he's going to show Wyatt what happens when you run your mouth in his yard, and then hits Wyatt with a right hand, and this devolves into a match. So we start off with promo points to Roman and Bray. Let me put these guys back in alphabetical order first. There we go. So Bray's going to go up to 279, and Roman is down here somewhere. 195. Okay. All right. So then we have a match, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. Standard back and forth match you'd expect from these guys. It ends when Bray Wyatt counters a spear and rolls outside, but then eats a drive-by kick. And he comes back with a clothesline on the floor, but as they get back in the ring, Roman hits him with a Superman punch and a spear for the victory. So Roman gets a win there, John. I'm not hearing a reaction.
I just smiled.
Oh, okay.
Still,
Again, I can't see you. If you're
I
going to
know,
react to
but
things,
I don't need to respond to every tiny victory I get.
Wow. Did you hear that, Jeff? You don't have to do that. I didn't know that.
What?
See, he's not even paying attention to the show we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't have to do what?
I don't fuck you when I lose a point either.
Yeah, that too. Anywho, so Bray Wyatt competed in the match. He's going to get 5
Hey,
points.
don't answer my question. Now you're just going all silent. That's weird.
You interrupted me. I don't appreciate that.
You didn't answer my question. I don't appreciate that.
You would have had the answer to your question if you'd been paying attention.
Okay.
It was a joke, son.
Fair enough.
I'm going to have to explain this in order to move on, aren't I? The joke was that Rick said he didn't have to react to every single victory he got, and I countered the joke saying, "Oh, Jeff, you don't have to do that. Did you know that?"
Ah.
Anyway, Bray gets 5 points for competing. 6 for moves is 11 points to Bray.
See, I didn't know you were saying that in reaction to what John said, because I heard what John said.
No, my reaction was fairly clear. Roman Reigns wins the match. He's going to get 20 points for doing that. He's also going to get 5 for competing in it is 25, and 11 points for moves is 36 points Roman Reigns.
Okay, then.
That's going to put him at 231. Boom. Following this, we cut to the backstage area where Enzo and Cass are being interviewed, and Enzo says he's going to find out who attacked him. Cass adds they don't know who the attackers are yet, but he's insulted some people think it was him. Spoilers, it was probably him. He says Enzo's like a brother to him, and from now on he's going to be watching his back at all times. Promo to Enzo and Cass. I hate they're breaking these two up.
I feel like he should have been watching his back at all times because of the whole Rusev thing, where he was jumped by Rusev.
Right?
Got his ass whooped.
That too.
I guess that was over 3 months ago. He must have forgotten.
It was.
It's okay, Zoe. You can go everywhere by yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Is when you started saying Rusev, I thought you were going to say the Russo thing. I'm like, wait, how does that tie in?
Yes. Just wait. That'll be in a few weeks. That's who's really attacking him. It's Cornette.
Yes.
You remind me of Russo. Blah, blah, blah. I got $5,000, Enzo, if you can take it. Oh god.
Anyway, so after this, we cut to Kurt Angle's office, where he's looking at his phone, looking very concerned. The Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss comes in and expects Kurt to congratulate her on her victory over Bayley at Extreme Rules. And he doesn't, so she goes ahead and says she's going to celebrate her life tonight, saying that we're going to see Alexa Bliss, this is my life. Kurt Angle tells her, no, you're not going to do that because that segment last week was, and I quote, one of the worst segments in the history of Raw. End quote. Which gets a pop from the crowd. Kurt points out that Alexa owes Nia Jax a title shot, and that's happening tonight. Alexa walks off as Kurt goes back to concernedly looking at his phone. Promo to Alexa.
Indeed. I really hope they're not leading up to Kurt being like fired unless it means he's returning to the ring.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out. So, following this, Dean Ambrose is shown getting ready to come to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Elias Sampson is in the ring and sings a song about Wilkes Barre and Dean Ambrose. Ambrose comes out and beats him up, but is interrupted by The Miz on the big screen, who says Ambrose won't be getting a rematch for the IC title, and Miz is planning a celebration tonight. Then Sampson attacks Ambrose from behind and leaves him laid out in the ring. So Elias Sampson gets a promo, and Dean gets an assault. And so I guess they both get an assault, technically, and Miz also gets a promo. So let's see here. So Dean is going to get just an assault because he didn't talk. So that's 4. And then Elias Sampson is right here somewhere. He's going to get promo and assault, so he's going to get 9. 72. And then The Miz. Miz.
Thomas.
Is going to get 5 promo points. Let's put him at 78. Okay. We go to commercial and come back to find Dean Ambrose storming through the backstage area, asking people to tell him where the Miz's locker room is. He runs into Kurt Angle, who tells Ambrose he needs to calm the hell down. Ambrose uses some clever wordplay to try to get Angle to tell him where the Miz's dressing room is. And he won't. And Kurt tells Ambrose he needs to leave the building right now. He says, the Miz is getting ready for his Intercontinental title victory celebration tonight, and you need to take the rest of the night off. So, additional promo to Dean. Okay. After that, Samoa Joe comes out to the ring and says that he has no fear of Brock Lesnar. In fact, he's envious of everything Lesnar has. He wants everything Lesnar has. He wants Lesnar's show up whenever you want schedule. His ability to instill fear in others. I want Paul Heyman to be my advocate. I run my errands and negotiate my contracts. And most of all, I want the WWE Universal Championship. And at Great Balls of Fire, I'm going to take it. He's interrupted by Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen. And he comes out of the ramp and he says, now, Joe, he says, now, you're a destroyer and a badass, Joe. I respect you for that. And remind you, I'm just an advocate. You destroyed your competitors at Extreme Rules. I understand you don't fear Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar doesn't fear you either. See, Brock Lesnar has beaten everyone from The Rock to Goldberg. Now, I came out here a few weeks ago and said that I would like to see Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. A David and Goliath story, an up-and-coming underdog versus the Beast. Being a great story. I wanted to see that because that was the best-case scenario. But you, Joe, no, you're the worst-case scenario. Because you want to go to war with Brock Lesnar. Because even if Lesnar beats you, you're going to take a piece of Brock Lesnar with you. But you see, as an advocate, because you are Brock Lesnar's worst case scenario, it's my job at Great Balls of Fire to make Brock Lesnar your worst case scenario. Heyman shakes Joe's hand and goes to walk away, but Joe drops his mic and stops him and proceeds to usher Heyman over to an opposing corner and stand in front of him. Says that now, and he does this off microphone, but does it so well. Now, Paul, something really bad is about to happen to you. I'm going to wrap my arm around your throat, and I'm going to squeeze tightly. And first, you're going to start to feel the air cut off, and your vision is going to start to go blurry. And he goes through the list of all the symptoms he's going to experience. And when all that's done, you're going to wake up. And when you do, I want you to go back to Brock Lesnar, and I want you to tell him in excruciating detail how that felt. Because that's what's going to happen to Brock Lesnar. And he then puts Paul Heyman in the coquina clutch and makes him pass out. So referees try to pry him off Heyman but don't have any luck. But eventually Joe lets go and leaves. Amazing promo from Joe. Great job. Promo points to Joe and Paulus.
Okay, then.
That's your response? Okay, then.
Sounds like a really good promo.
It was a very good promo. Joe's really good on the mic, and I'm glad they're giving him mic time. And as I said before on Thursday, go watch that Raw Talk after the pay-per-view, because holy shit. I was like, wow. Yes, he needs to, and I'm glad he did another promo pretty much like that one, but this time to Paulus' face.
Yep.
Keep doing that, WWE. Keep using him for mic stuff, and he will not steer you wrong.
So meanwhile, we cut to the commercial, and we come back to Kurt Angle confronting Joe backstage about what just happened in the ring. And Joe says he'll do that to anyone in his way. He gets nose Kurt asking, "Are you in my way?" Before this could happen, Kurt doesn't flinch but gets pushed aside as Seth freaking Rollins walks up saying, "Kurt's on your way, but I am in your way."
Yep.
I didn't forget what you've done to me. I'm so pissed off about it. So why don't you not settle this tonight? And Kurt's like, "That's a great idea. You two are the main event." So promo to Joe and Rollins.
We need to finish writing that.
We'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And 285, so that's going to put him at 290. Okay. So.
Yes.
Next up, we cut to the ring for a tag team match play-up featuring the tag team champions Cesaro taking on Beauty and the Man Beast, Heath Slater and Rhino. It's a non-title match. And Sheamus and Cesaro basically take turns beating the crap out of Heath Slater. Cesaro mocks the Hardy Boy taunts. He almost gets a tag to Rhino, but Heath doesn't quite make it as Cesaro pulls Rhino off the apron and brawls on him at ringside, while Sheamus bro kicks the shit out of Slater and takes the victory. So win for the tag team champions. So Heath and Rhino are each going to get 5 points for showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Cesaro is on the winning team. He gets 15 points for that. He didn't have any moves as far as I can tell, so he's just going to get the 15. And 5 for competing is 20 for Cesaro. 81. And Sheamus got the win, so that's 20 points for him. 5 for competing is 25. And 3 moves is 28 points to Sheamus. So that's 33, and 8 is 241. Sheamus has a lot less points than Cesaro. That's interesting. Anyway,
Because Cesaro wins most of the matches.
Sheamus has won like the last 3.
No, Cesaro won the titles.
Did he?
Yep. You don't even remember what we did on Thursday? You fail.
No, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because his feet hit the floor last out of the cage.
Still win, and it still win points.
Yeah. Sheamus did all the work.
Mm.
Anyway, after the match, Sheamus cuts a promo saying that's how an intelligent tag team wins a match, and that's why they beat the Hardys. Sheamus asks who in the crowd is happy the Hardys are back, and Cesaro adds that I know 2 people that aren't happy about the Hardys being back. Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. Sheamus says Matt and Jeff are probably at home dreaming about their rematch, but they should think twice before re-invoking it. So promo points to Sheamus and Cesaro. Six. And Cesaro is up here. 286. Okay. So following this, we see TJ Perkins walking backstage. He runs into Neville and says that he wants the Cruiserweight title shot he was promised. And Neville says he agrees Perkins has earned this, and says that if Perkins can handle Mustafa Ali tonight, he'll talk to Kurt Angle about setting up the title shot. So we go to the ring, and TJP has a one-on-one match against Mustafa Ali.
Yay, all points to me.
Indeed, Ali takes control early on, but Perkins counters, managing to knock Ali off the top rope, and then followed up with a detonation kick for a win. So Mustafa Ali, each guy had 1 point, so Ali's going to get 5 for competing, and 1 is 6 points to Mustafa.
Mm-hmm.
And TJ Perkins gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing is 25, and 1 move is 26 to TJP. So that's 72, 82, and 6 is 88. 288. Okay. And top 10 for TJP. So, before Perkins can leave the ring, however, Neville's entrance music and pyro hits, and he comes out to the ramp as TJP goes to meet him. And Neville says he talked to Kurt Angle and has some unfortunate news that Kurt didn't approve the title match. Perkins gets upset and says they're going to go talk to Kurt Angle together right now, and Neville attacks Perkins from behind, slamming him onto the steel ramp and yelling that they'll have their Cruiserweight match tomorrow night on 205 Live.
Neville is fucking Neo now? Okay, then.
Dude.
I know Kung Fu.
Whoa.
Anyway, so that's going to be a promo and assault to Neville. Neville. Well, I'll throw him 5 for the pre-match promo because I never scored him. I'll throw him 3 for the post promo and 4 for the assault. So 12. What's a bit? 303. Neville back in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So next we come to a promo for another Shattered Dreams production, where Goldust says it's all truth. This is all one big game, but it's not for Goldust. He sees the truth and the bigger motion picture here. The biggest names in Hollywood and the brightest stars in the sky will all be glittered in gold. The golden age is back. Promo to Goldust.
Fair enough.
42.
I hope they do more than promos. Come on, man. It's just getting ridiculous.
Yep. So we got backstage where Mickey, Dana, and Sasha are having a conversation. Alexa Bliss walks up and says hi, and they all start to walk away from her. Sasha continues to leave, but Mickey and Dana stay. And Alexa asks them if they're insulted that Nia Jax is cutting in line to get a women's title shot tonight, and says, "We have a Nia Jax problem." But Dana corrects that, "No, Alexa, you have a Nia Jax problem." And Dana and Mickey say that they'll be at ringside watching the match tonight. Promo to all those people I mentioned.
Indeed.
We've got Alexa Bliss. 73. Excuse me. And then we got Dana Brooke. 5, 6. And then we got Mickey James. 42. And then we've got Sasha Banks was there briefly. Okay. So after this, we cut to the announce table where Kurt Angle runs in and grabs Corey Graves, taking him to the side of the table, showing him something on the phone, and they have a brief conversation while Booker T and Michael Cole look very confused, wonder aloud what's going on. Graves comes back to the desk, and they ask him what the hell that was all about, but Graves changes the subject as Kalisto's music hits.
Mm-hmm.
As Kalisto comes to the ring, we cut backstage where Kurt runs into an interviewer who asks what Angle was talking to Graves about and where he's going. And Kurt apologizes, saying it's a personal matter, and he has to leave and exits the building. As the door is closing behind him, however, a hand reaches in and grabs the door just as it's about to close, and Dean Ambrose sneaks his way back into the building. In front of, down the hallway, the Revival, whose appearance I'm sure has no relevance whatsoever.
No, of course not.
So, we go back out to the ring where we have the match that was starting, Kalisto versus Titus O'Neil. Apollo Crews is at ringside in Titus's corner. Titus controls the match in the opening minutes and tries to pin Kalisto by pulling on the tights again, but Kalisto reverses the pin and rolls up Titus with a handful of his tights for the win. In a match with no moves.
Mm-hmm.
So Apollo Crews gets accompaniment. That's 5. 95 for him. And then Titus competed. He gets 5 for that. So it's 79. And Kalisto gets 25 match points for being winning the match and competing in it. So 25 would be, I don't know, let's see, 38, 48, and 5 is 53. Okay. So, after this match, we see Maurice and Miz getting back in the backstage area, getting ready for the Intercontinental title celebration tonight, when the Miz spots Big Cass lying on the ground under some pipes and equipment. A referee and Enzo run in to check on Cass, and he regains consciousness and hands Enzo a gold chain, but doesn't say anything. So,
It's Razor Ramon.
Ha!
Yes. All right, so I don't know how to rate that segment. I guess
Maybe.
Enzo would get a promo because he was talking.
Hmm.
Cass was just there, so I guess he gets an appearance.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that.
Cass at even 150, and Enzo. One 103 for Enzo. All right. So after this, we go to commercial. We come back, and Enzo reveals that the chain is his, and that whoever attacked him brought his chain with them. Whoever attacked Cass brought his chain with them that they had taken from one of the previous beatdowns, and they say that Cass can't compete tonight due to his condition. So we cut out to the ring where the carpet has been laid out. And Maurice is in the ring, and she proceeds to introduce The Miz, who comes out. There is much fanfare, there is balloons, and there's even a dancing bear holding a congratulations sign. Also champagne. The crowd begins chanting, "You deserve it." And Miz proceeds to immediately call the crowd out. Validly so. Did you see Raw, Jeff?
I did.
As Miz needs to point out that, that chant would mean a heck of a lot more if you didn't chant that for anyone who wins anything in WWE ever. He asks everyone to raise a glass, or for those of you here in the local arena, a styrofoam cup. As I propose a toast to me being the Intercontinental Champion and to my beautiful wife, Maurice. He tells Maurice that he says he loves the celebration planning, including the dancing bear she got, but she says she didn't get the dancing bear. The Miz says he didn't get the bear either, so the Miz attacks the bear, throwing him in the corner, throwing some right hands, then hitting him with a skull-crushing finale. The Miz then climbs on top of the bear's back and proceeds to pull its mask off, announcing, "Your former champion, Dean Ambrose," only to find out it wasn't Ambrose. Well, all right. Well, you're lucky you got beat up by the Intercontinental Champion. And get out of here, and he kicks him out of the ring. Next, somebody wheels a big box down to ringside, and Miz says that, "Oh, what a giant present! Anyone could be in there." And proceeds to beat the crap out of the present, dropping elbows on the box and smashing it. Only then opening it up to find a grandfather clock that Maurice had bought for him. Maurice gets pissed at Miz, saying he ruined the celebration, and she proceeds to leave. The Miz looks devastated, saying this is all Dean Ambrose's fault. He climbs in the ring and asks Ambrose to show himself. And standing on the turnbuckle, saying that, "I know you're out there." However, as he climbs down and looks at the Titantron, he sees behind him the cameraman who's been in the ring take off his hat and reveal himself to be Dean Ambrose. The Miz, very slowly and not with a pleasant look on his face, turns around and eats a dirty deeds. Dean Ambrose then drinks the Miz's champagne out of the bottle and then leaves. So, that's going to be promo to Miz and Maurice. We'll start with that. It's 5 and 3, 23. And then the Miz. The Miz. All right. And then the Miz is going to get assault points for assaulting a bear and a present. More the bear. And 1 point for a skull-crushing finale is another 5 points to the Miz.
Da bear.
Da bear.
Da bear.
And then Dean Ambrose gets assault points and a dirty deeds point. So that's 5 points to Dean. It's about 237. Okay. After this, we cut backstage and we see Enzo getting ready to come to the ring. Noting that he has to find a partner for tonight's match because Cass is out of action.
Mhm.
So Enzo comes out and does his normal promo and gets in the ring, and then announces that his partner tonight is 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. Well, it's a big show. It's a big bad show tonight, doggone. It's a big show. So the Big Show comes out, and Enzo cuts in the rest of his promo, but Big Show doesn't look amused. However, he loosens up and starts getting into the promo, including doing the soft, which was great. Their opponents are already at ringside. They are the Club. And basically, they attack Enzo briefly for all about 2 minutes before Enzo tags in the Big Show, and Big Show just crushes them both. Ending with Big Show tagging Enzo back in and throwing him for the bada boom. Shakalaka. So Gallows and Anderson get 5 points each for showing up. Nine. And Carl Anderson. That's 6. All right. So then we've got Enzo. Enzo technically was the Big Show first because Enzo technically won the match. So Big Show has 3 move points, so he's going to get 15 for being on the winning team, 5 for competing is 20, and 3 points is 23 to the Big Show. And he's 47, 57, and 3 is an even 60 points for the Big Show. And then Enzo is going to get himself 20 for winning, 5 for competing, and 1 for the bada boom. Is 26 points to Enzo Amore. To 129. So after this, we have an R-Truth promo where he basically, the same parodying Goldust Director's Chair thing, a Truth Be Told production, and basically does some more quoting of Samuel L. Jackson for Pulp Fiction, and basically talks about Goldust turning his back on him. And it says that Goldust is going to get got.
Pretty much.
We then cut backstage to an Alexa Bliss interview where she says she deserves way better than how the Raw brand treats her. No, that's a promo. 378. All right. We then cut to the ring where Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss have a match for the Raw Women's Championship. Dana Brooke and Mickie James are at ringside for a closer look. Alexa slaps Nia in the face and basically starts off, but Nia throws her across the ring and starts beating the crap out of her. So Bliss rolls out of the ring and immediately starts a fight with Dana and Mickie in order to get Nia DQ'd. Or rather, to get herself DQ'd. Or did she get Nia DQ'd? Who got DQ'd off of that, Jeff?
I think Nia got DQ'd and Alexa won the match.
Right, because the two of them hit Alexa.
Yeah, because Alexa provoked them.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Which is why Nia attacked them after the match.
Right, okay. So therefore, Alexa Bliss wins via DQ. Fair enough. So Nia's going to get 5 points for competing. And 2 moves is 7 points to Nia. Technically, Mickie and Dana are going to get interference points. Dana. And then Alexa Bliss won the match by an intentional DQ. So an intentional DQ win gets her 10 points, plus 5 for competing is 15. And a retention of the SmackDown Women's Championship is 25. So that's 40 points to Alexa Bliss, who did not hit any moves.
Mm-hmm.
Which puts Alexa Bliss. That's first to break 400 at 418 and number 1
Wow.
for now.
Wow.
So after this, we come backstage where Paul Heyman is being checked on by the trainers after the vicious assault by Samoa Joe earlier in the night. He gets a call from his client, Brock Lesnar, and he asks the trainer to step out. And he tells Brock Lesnar it's time to instill fear in Joe and show up next week. He says next week it's time to unleash the beast. Promo to Paulus. $20 points, Paulus. Okay. And after this, we go to the ring for our main event tonight, and that is Samoa Joe versus Seth freaking Rollins. The two put on a great back-and-forth match. Seth Rollins got a little suicide plancha happy. And the match ended when Rollins was on the top rope after super kicking Joe, but Bray Wyatt's graphics flashed on the screen and the lights went out. When they came back on, Rollins looked around and there was no Bray, but Joe grabbed Rollins from behind and locked him in the coquina clutch off the distraction and got the win. So, Seth Rollins competed in the main event. So he's going to get 5 points for competing. 4 for being in the main event is 9. And 10 move points is 19 points to Seth Rollins. Where is he? There we go. Which puts him at 309. And then Samoa Joe gets 20 points for winning. 9 points for being in and winning the main event is 29. 5 for competing is 34. And Joe has 9 move points. So that's going to put 43 for Samoa Joe then. It's 06, 16, 26, 36. It's 339 for Samoa Joe. All right. Thus ends Monday Night Raw, so let's go look at the scores.
Indeed.
Still in the lead at 48-64 is, of course, Team Extreme, followed at 39-13 by Certified Balor Club and Team Apocalypse at 35-62.
All right, then.
Okay. Let us resume with a SmackDown Live.
All right.
All right. Paste and go. All right. The June 6th edition of SmackDown Live aired from the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York. So we open up in the ring with the women of SmackDown Live and James Ellsworth and Shane McMahon. Shane opens up the show by calling for a drum roll and then revealing the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, which is white. It drops from the ceiling and he reveals it as the Money in the Bank song plays. And he then explains that, how the Money in the Bank ladder match works, but James Ellsworth interrupts to tell Shane to stop mansplaining because they know how the match works. Duh. The women then all start arguing with each other until Naomi comes out to interrupt, saying even though she loves being champion, she wishes she could be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And warns them that she's ready for whoever comes after her, and they should be ready for her too. However, they're then interrupted again by Lana Lena, a.k.a. Lana, who poses in her dress, dancing down the ramp and gets in the ring. Shane points out that she wasn't scheduled for this segment, and this doesn't work for him. But Lana says Naomi can't compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but she can. But Naomi laughs at her and points out Lana's never had a match, asking who has Lana ever beaten. Lana says she could beat Naomi, but Shane tells Lana she has to earn her a spot in the match, and Lana walks off upset. As she leaves, the crowd chants, "We want Lana," and Shane calls for a ref because we have a 6-woman tag match. So I guess promo to everybody in that opening segment except Shane because he's not currently on the roster.
Right.
So let's see. We got, first of all, we need Lana, who is back here. We need to assign Lana. So we need feelings on how that's going to go. While I score the rest of this, let's see. Naomi. Natalia. Becky. Charlotte. 54. And Carmella. And James Ellsworth. The official mascot.
Ellsworth.
The official mascot of Team Apocalypse. Is that a no?
Cool, man. That's not cool.
Hey,
I
you
thought you were
picked.
gonna, yeah. Way back when.
Yeah. You thought I was going to what?
I thought you were gonna say the official mascot of the women's division because he's
That
just
too.
there for some
That
reason.
too.
Yeah.
So, who wants Lana? My chart calculations indicate that Team
Me.
Extreme is one person behind, so
So I guess I have to take her.
I guess you're taking her. All right, then.
Which I hope the reports of her gimmick aren't true. Otherwise, fuck me.
Yeah.
You heard what the reports were about her gimmick, right?
John told me what you said the reports about her gimmick were.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those unaware, supposedly she is not doing the Emelini gimmick. She is Eva Marie 2.0. So her entire gimmick is to never wrestle. And I'm just like, fuck!
What the fuck? What did it? What the?
So we shall see.
Copy, you piece of horseshit. Thank you. And this is going to switch to active. Okay. So.
And Jim and I were discussing it. We actually think she's going to be like Brock. She's going to win the title and then never defend it.
Ha!
Seems possible. Anyway, this was followed up with a 6-woman tag match of the New Age Order versus Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky. And Lana Lena was not done. Did you see SmackDown, Jeff?
I saw parts of it. Yeah, I saw what was on WWE. I didn't get a chance to actually go back and watch the show.
Fair enough. Anyway, so the match opens up with some back and forth competing, and it ends at one point when Naomi takes control of Tamina Tamina throws her into the corner. Naomi manages to kick it springboard across body for the 2 count. But as she gets rolls out and gets up on the apron, Lana comes out and pulls Naomi off the apron, slamming her face into it on the way down. And this results in her being distracted, of course. And as Naomi gets back in the ring, she eats a super kick from Tamina for the loss.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should start calling her Lana Marie.
Yeah, we'll see. In the meantime, the heels won here, so we'll do the faces first. So let's see here. Faces in no particular order. Charlotte has 1 point, so she's going to get 6 points. So that's
Fair
going to
enough.
160 even. All right. And then Becky had also 1, so Becky's also going to get 6 points. We're at 102. And then Charlotte. I just did Charlotte. Naomi. Yeah. That's a ticket. He is going to go up to 161. And while I'm down in this neck of the woods, Lana is going to get interference points. And then on the heels, we're going to have Natalya gets 15 points for being on the winning team, and 5 for competing is 20 points to Natalya. Not have any moves, so 20 points to Natalya. Is 176. Same for Carmella. Who will get also 20 points. That'll put her at 130. And then Tamina won the match, so she will get 25 points, plus her match-winning super kick is 26 points to Tamina.
Yay.
Puts her at 129. All right. So after this, we cut backstage, where Shane comes across the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy, and thus Mojo Rawley along with it. And Mojo says that, he's upset that he didn't get an opportunity in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Feel that he thought when he won this trophy it was going to help skyrocket his career, and it really hasn't done anything. And he asks Shane to give him an opportunity. So Shane says, Mojo points out, I'm the only person that's beaten Jinder Mahal since he came to SmackDown Live. So Shane agrees to give him a match, saying, all right, if you could beat Jinder in a match tonight, I'll add you to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Spoiler alert, he doesn't beat him.
No.
So promo to Mojo Rawley. Stay hype.
Stay hype. Hype is not real.
All right. Oh, the hype is real. Mojo just made the fatal mistake of not having the Grunk at ringside.
There you go.
So, we cut to the ring where AJ Styles takes on Dolph Ziggler in a rematch from last week. Ziggler takes control early on, but AJ manages to come back rather impressively with what Jeff tells me is a TNA AJ Styles move.
Yeah, that was totally a TNA X Division AJ Styles move.
AJ Styles took control of Dolph and went over to the apron to go for a phenomenal forearm, but Dolph managed to kick him in the head and kick him in the knee rather off the rope to prevent him from doing that. So instead, AJ elbowed him in the face across the rope and then proceeded to springboard over top into a sunset flip, flipping Dolph over into a roll-up position, then rolling through that to a standing position, picking Dolph up and locking him directly into the Styles Clash.
Yeah, stepping through right into the Clash. It was like, damn, he went old school on Dolph. Because I've seen him do that before in TNA when he had short hair. I was like, damn, Dolph, you just got totally pwned.
You mean in his pre-soccer mom days?
Pretty much.
So Dolph Ziggler Dolph Ziggler gets 5 points for showing up tonight. And he also gets 2 move points. So 7 points to Dolph.
Yep, that right there is why AJ Styles is the phenomenal one, because damn.
Basically. And AJ Styles gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing is 25, and 2 moves is 27 points to AJ Styles.
Woohoo.
7. All right. So after this, it's time for the latest edition of the Fashion Files.
Yay.
Dun,
We
dun.
cut back to the office of the Fashion Police, and they're looking at their board of things, talking about the colognes. Also, hilarious thing here that was followed up on Twitter. I love this. So, on the board of fashion crimes this week, there's a picture of Billy Kidman.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his long hair. He's wearing he's wearing like some, I don't remember what he was wearing, but it was some like hideous getup. I don't remember what the hell it was. But there was this old picture of Kidman from back in like the Attitude Era days.
Yeah.
And it's this horrible outfit he was wearing. Well,
Here's looking at you, kid. ... Man.
Yeah. The picture of Bogey was next to him too. And so Billy Kidman responded to this on Twitter with a link to that image of the shot embedded, and basically saying, "Am I being investigated by the Fashion Police? Is there a statute of limitations on fashion crimes?" So props to Billy Kidman for being in good fun. Well, as they're in their office, they are interrupted, as we see coming down the hallway, by the New Day, who managed to maneuver their ice cream cart down a narrow hallway to get there. They enter the Fashion Files office, and they first begin to wonder why they're suddenly in black and white, and then point out that with the 3 of them, and then the Fashion Police, they are literally black and white, as Biggie points out. And effectively, they say that they've come to, and the Fashion Police initially wondering, "What are you doing here?" And they say, "We're here wondering if you don't have any, if you have any information on our upcoming opponents, the Usos." So the Fashion Police step, and something's in it for you too. And they give each member of the Fashion Police a New Day romper. And the Fashion Police hand them several large boxes of evidence regarding the Uggos. But Fandango looks at the romper and throws it on the ground, saying, "We don't take bribes. We're not those kind of cops." As Breeze then walks back over wearing the romper. And Fandango's like, "All right, that's going to, no pockets for my stuff. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Okay." And the Fashion Police say that they're on the case.
New case rocks.
New case rocks. New case rocks. Oh, you saw that?
Yeah. They have it on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Indeed.
No. Promo to all those people.
Yeah.
All right. So Fandango. It's 5 points. Is 84. And Breezy Bella. It's 5 points. 9. And then the New Day members. While we're down here, we'll do Xavier. He gets 5. 31. And then we've got Kofi. Gets 5 points, puts him at 20. And then we've got Biggie. All right. So after this, we cut to the ring for Jinder Mahal versus Mojo Rawley. Mojo comes out first to a nice pop for the crowd. The Singh brothers step out to the stage and proceed to introduce Jinder Mahal, who walks out with a modified new entrance of the entire stage going black except for the fancy carpet that is forming under his feet as he walks. And then as he poses on the stage, the whole thing lights up with his name and the Taj Mahal imagery and everything else.
That's a pretty cool entrance.
It is. I like it. And he comes to the ring and has his match against Mojo Rawley. Mojo starts off strong with some flying shoulder tackles and getting him in the corner, and he picks him up in the fireman's carry position to go for the what does he call his finisher again, John?
Which move?
Who, Mahal's finisher? It's a sleeper slam.
No, not that. Mojo's finisher, the fireman's carry, whatever.
Oh.
It's the hype something.
I just remember the hype rider, but yeah, hyperdrive. I think hyperdrive. I think.
I don't think that's it. Hang on.
Oh.
It might be. Let's see.
By the way, I'd like to point out, since you didn't give me a chance because you just kept on talking.
Oh, you're right. It is the hyperdrive. Fair enough.
But yeah, it was just like, again, interrupting me. Thank you. I'd like to point out the only thing I didn't like about Jinder Mahal's entrance is the fact that he came out with a fucking ISIS head wrap. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
That's racist.
He's really mad about the travel ban.
No, like seriously, you look at his head wrap. It's not even like an Indian turban. It's a fucking like ISIS turban. I'm like, what the fuck?
Number one, a turban is a turban. Number two, you expect creative to know the difference.
After Muhammad Hassan, I would hope so.
Yes, because creative paid attention to him.
Anyway, so the Singh brothers distract Mojo Rawley in the middle of going for the hyperdrive, and he ends up eating a boot from Jinder Mahal and the whatever he's calling that Cobra Clutch Slam maneuver.
I think that's actually what it's called.
I don't know. He actually gave it a name the other. He was on show the other week. He actually gave it a name, the Kalas.
Okay then.
Khallas, the Kalas.
Okay then.
Which, quite literally in Indian, means finished.
So his finisher is literally called the finisher.
Pretty much.
Okay then.
He was the guy for Slam City. Oh, it all makes sense now.
Oh shit! That's genius. Anyway, so Jinder Mahal picks up a victory. So the Singh brothers are going to get accompaniment interference points.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't know which one was which. Still don't care. So that's 5 for the accompaniment, 6 for the interference, is 11 for each of these gentlemen. So that's 85 for you. And 85 for you. And then Mojo competed but did not win, so he'll get 5 points for that. And 3 moves is 8 points to Mojo. So 59. Jinder did win. He gets 20. 5 for competing is 25. And 5 moves is 30 points to Jinder Mahal.
Fair enough. Since we're talking about Jinder Mahal, I'd just like to mention that I listened to part of the podcast that Ryback does with, I don't know who the hell he does it with, but he does this podcast where he talks about stuff. And they talk about, like, you know, basically substance abuse when they were younger, you know, taking like steroids and stuff, because, you know, they did. And Ryback goes, speaking of which, let's talk about Jinder Mahal and his body, because goddamn, I know that boy is juicing. I mean, he doesn't say that outright, but he's like, you know, it's like, yes, because they were talking about how, like, when you take like steroids and stuff, how it could cause men to like grow tits and stuff. Because he said he had a friend who did that stuff, and boy had tits. He's like, and speaking of someone else who has tits, let's talk about Jinder Mahal. He's like, did you notice that on SmackDown when he came out? Because I noticed it immediately. You know, those don't grow naturally like that. Boy's got tits, so I know what the hell he's doing. So yeah, Ryback just outright called out Mahal on fucking juicing. Because he recognized it immediately. Because of course, obviously he juiced, and he recognizes the signs. It's like, that's kind of funny when Ryback calls you out on fucking taking steroids. You're fucking taking steroids. So yeah, it has been confirmed. Jinder Mahal is go under the needle. Yeah, actually, right back in that podcast, it's actually pretty entertaining. He's pretty he talks about interesting stuff, and he's pretty well spoken. So he also gives zero fucks about language because he'll curse left, right, and center. But I guess that's just who he is. I guess I don't know who his co-host is. Apparently, another person that was kind of in the business. He was a wrestler at one point and stuff like that. And so they're kind of like us. They give zero fucks about language. But if you get a chance, check out look that stuff up on YouTube.
No. Let's make that clear. There's still some limits. Jim Cornette gives no fucks about language.
Well, Jim Cornette goes beyond cursing. Let's call a spade here.
He's the Maharaja of swears.
Yes. And bringing it back around after Jinder's match.
You're welcome.
We see a Shinsuke Nakamura highlight reel. And then we see the New Day getting ready to come out to the ring. And then we cut to Randy Orton being interviewed, where he says that he's talked to people like legends like his father, Ric Flair, and Harley Race, who is hopefully recovering, who all told him to let Jinder talk trash because actions speak louder than words. And in Money in the Bank, he won't have to say a word for Jinder to hear him loud and clear. Promo to Randy Orton. Now we go to the ring for the New Day versus the Colognes.
Fair enough.
Xavier and Big E are wrestling this match because Kofi's ankle probably isn't fully healed yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the New Day pretty much just dominates this match.
Pretty much.
There is a nice double abdominal stretch spanking. Double team maneuver. Good stuff like that. So, the Colognes showed up. So they're going to get 5 points each. 5 for Primo. And Epico. 7, okay. And then Kofi gets accompaniment points. So that's 5 for him. And then let's see here. I believe Biggie got the fall here. Let me double check. No, Xavier was a legal man. Okay. So then Biggie is going to get himself 15 points for being on the winning team. 5 for competing is 20. And 5 moves is 25 for Biggie. Puts him at 60. Xavier Woods got the win. That's 20. 5 for competing is 25. And 1 for the joining in the midnight hour at the end of the match is 26 to Xavier. What's him at 57. All right. After this, the Uggos come out and cut a promo on the New Day from the ramp. So promo to the Uggos.
A shit promo.
An incredibly shit promo.
Yeah, WWE, stop giving them mics. They're fucking terrible.
No, the Uggos are great, just not in this gimmick.
Yeah. Or more accurately, WWE, stop writing their promos. You're fucking terrible.
That too. On this, we see Kevin Owens backstage taping his wrist up, getting ready for his match against Shinsuke Nakamura in the main event. We then see an interview with Sami Zayn where he says he's been watching footage of all his Money in the Bank opponents to prepare for the match. He says he's going to join the commentary team for the main event tonight for a closer look, but Baron Corbin interrupts and beats the shit out of him. He lifts him with a ladder and then throws him into some more ladders. And says he'll be taking Zayn's spot on that commentary desk tonight. So Sami Zayn gets promo. 2:45. Baron Corbin gets assault and weapon use, so that's 7 points to Baron Corbin. It's Baron Corbin at 205 Live. We come back to the general manager, to the, I guess, they're going to be general manager, but the commissioner's office, where Shane is on the phone and not happy with what Corbin just did.
Yeah.
Naomi comes in and asks for a match against Lana, saying she's willing to put her title on the line, and so Shane books Naomi to defend the women's title against Lana at Money in the Bank.
In which she's no doubt going to win.
You had some doubts when we started this podcast.
What do you mean?
Oh, no doubt Naomi's going to win, you mean? Okay.
Yes.
I think there's some doubt.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Naomi's going to retain. I think this is just basically to say, hey, see, the women's champ is on the pay-per-view.
Could be. So, we go to the ring for the main event, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens.
Which, from what I saw of this match, was not terrible.
Baron Corbin is on commentary, as noted, so we'll get to that in a minute. Nakamura starts off strong. Owens comes back in the middle of the match. And at the end, Owens drops Nakamura into the bottom turnbuckle and hits a cannonball, but Nakamura comes back with a spinning heel kick on Owens, then a back suplex, and then the what is that move?
Kinshasa.
Kinshasa.
Kinshasa. I'm going to call it the Bamaye, but close enough.
Well, isn't that the actual name of the move?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
JP
And this Kinshasa actually looked decent this time, so the match was not terrible.
And then after the match, Baron Corbin runs in and hits Nakamura with an end of days. So Baron Corbin is going to get 5 for commentary, 4 for another assault, and 1 for the end of days. Is 10 more points to Baron Corbin. Followed by Kevin Owens gets 5 points for competing, 4 for being in the main event is 9, and 1 move is 10 points to Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Puts him at 403, not enough to crest Alexa Bliss. And Nakamura gets 20 for winning and 9 for the main event. 5 for competing is 34. And Nakamura had 2 moves, is 36 points to Shinsuke Nakamura. Him at, let's see, 88, and 6 is 194. All right. Let's check the scores. Refreshing all. Still in the lead at 5,016
Damn.
is Team Extreme, followed at 4059 by the, what's my team name? Certified Balor Club. And trailing by about 400 points behind that, at 3667 is Team Apocalypse.
Fair enough.
All right. So.
205 Live.
Pretty much. Let's go to the 205 Live.
Let's.
Interesting stuff this week, including a Cruiserweight Championship match.
Indeed.
All right. Whoa. There we go. So, plenty of action. Here we go. Ow. We open up with a one-on-one match that has been a while in the making. Noam Dar versus the return to Cedric Alexander.
Okay. Damn, Noam Dar.
Indeed. So, Cedric Alexander, there's apparently a guy in the crowd who screams, "Where's Alicia Fox?"
Alicia wasn't out there.
No. As Noam Dar opens up with a promo, and then we go into the match.
Okay.
So, Dar will get a promo to start. .66. So the two have the match. It's a nice back and forth. For the most part, although Alexander, of course, gets most of the offense in. And Alexander wins the match with a lumbar check from out of nowhere.
Ooh, actually won. Wow.
So, Noam Dar is going to get 5 for competing and 2 moves. Is 7 points to Noam Dar. 4, 7 is 173. And Cedric Alexander gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing, and the lumbar check out of nowhere is 26 points to Alexander. 78 and 6 is 84. All right. After the match, Cedric Alexander screams at Dar, "I'm done with this. I've moved on." So we'll see where that goes.
Okay, then.
So after this, TJP is interviewed backstage. He apparently takes the piss out of his own sob story, so saying it's about him now, not the crowd. So it promo to TJP.
I don't know.
.93. All right. We then have Mustafa Ali versus Louis Valley. Louis Valley,
What the hell is that?
a jobber.
Okay, then.
Yes. As good old Alan Sco over on Cage Side Seats points out, commentary tells the story about Ali's loss streak to Gulak and needing to get back on track with a win. Methinks Mr. Valley, devoid of entrance music and graphic, may just be the gentleman to assist in this matter.
Nah.
And he points out here, amazingly, we have an almost Japanese-style crowd. Deathly silent to start, popping for Ali's flips and appeals. So there you go. So, of course, Mustafa Ali beats the crap out of him. Although Valley does go for a cheeky roll-up at one point. As Ali goes up for the inverted 450, Drew Gulak comes out to the stage ringing the siren on his megaphone with his placard in his other hand, and proceeds to basically appeal to Mustafa to come down off of there, saying, he doesn't need to do this. Saying that, you can be better at this. As Mustafa climbs down and is standing on the by the ropes, Louis Valley tries that aforementioned cheeky roll-up from behind, but Ali rolls it through and gets the pinfall himself, to which Drew Gulak gets a huge, looking back at the Tron like he can't believe it look on his face, and then congratulates Mustafa, pointing out that he was able to do it without his high-flying antics. Gulak says he's proud of him, saying that this is proof. Join me. Join my campaign for a better 205 Live. See, you can do this. You can be better without all that stuff. And he turns around toward the nearby camera, begins appealing, and then eats a suicide dive from Mustafa Ali in the ring, whom he turned his back on.
Wah, wah.
So there you go. The sign was standing up by the entranceway, and it was all he never seems to knock it down and smash it apart. So, what do we got here? Mustafa Ali won a match, so he's going to get himself 20, 5 for competing, and 1 for his maneuver. Is 26 points. And he's also going to get technically an assault on Gulak is 30. So 30 points to Mustafa Ali. 157. Drew Gulak is going to get himself 6 interference points plus a promo post-match. So that's going to be 11 points to Drew Gulak. Which puts him at 110. All right. So after this, we have a promo video for Rich Swann, which means he's probably challenging Neville for the title next.
So we'll finally know if Neville can handle this.
Indeed. Can't handle this, can't handle this. And after this, we have a backstage segment where Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa, and Titus O'Neil? Swann and Tozawa are joking in Japanese. O'Neil comes in and clumsily tries to pretend that he knows what they're saying, but he doesn't. He then dismisses Swann and tries to sweet-talk Tozawa into becoming part of the highly lucrative Titus brand. Turning ha, ha, ha into cha, 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 as in cha-ching.
Who does he think he is? Fandango? Fandango needs to go like sue for gimmick or she'd be like, no, cha cha cha's mine. Cha 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 la la cha cha.
Tozawa looks suitably bemused. So, that's going to be promo to Rich Swann, Titus O'Neil, and Akira Tozawa. $84 and Akira Tozawa. 5 is 174, 274. Okay. After this, we go to our main event. TJP challenging Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. They put on, I have not seen this match. I'm going to go back and watch it, but apparently they put on a freaking clinic.
Good.
It was apparently an amazing match, judging by the recap. That kid near the microphone in the crowd from earlier was at it again, shouting, "Neville, you suck." Also, when the championship match was announced at the beginning, apparently the crowd bellowed in unison, "One fall!" And some voices in the crowd even started chanting TJP as the match wore on. So I had to check another recap to actually find out what happened, because he didn't really go to the moves that I had to go back into the actual live recap. And so after a back-and-forth series of reversals, Neville did, of course, pick up the win with the Rings of Saturn. So TJP gets 5 points for competing, 4 for being in the main event is 9, and 3 for an evasion of a red arrow earlier in the match. At the last possible second, apparently. So that's going to throw 12 points to TJP.
Okay.
TJP. 5. Puts him at 305 live. No, wait, is that right? Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. And then Neville is going to earn himself, let's see here. He's going to get 20 points for winning the match. He's going to get 20 points for retaining the Cruiserweight title. Is 40. He's going to get 9 for being in and winning the main event. Is 49. He's going to get 5 for actually competing. Is going to be 34.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, more than that. Hang on.
54.
54. Thank you. 54. And 4 moves is 58 points to Neville. Neville.
Yay.
Puts Neville at 361. Let's go to the score. To the final scores for the week. Refresh all. Still in the lead is at 50-89 is the Team Extreme. There we go. Followed at 40-75, just a little over 1,000 points, by the Certified Valor Club. And catching up at 37-47, only a few hundred points behind, is Team Apocalypse.
There you go.
And there you have it. Let's take a look at the leaderboards.
Indeed.
In the lead is the Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss, at 418. Followed closely by the United States Champion and new face of America, Kevin Owens, at 403. They're followed by the Cruiserweight Champion, Neville. Neville at 361. Followed by the WWE Champion, Jinder Mahal, at 354. The number 1 contender to the Universal title, Samoa Joe, at 339. Followed by A-Double Austin Aries at 326. Followed by Finn Balor at 312. Seth freaking Rollins at 309. Just a few points ahead of TJP at 305. And still holding in there and rounding out the top 10. This time just 2 points ahead of The Miz. It's Bray Wyatt at 290. Sorry, Miz, you just can't quite beat the Eater of Worlds.
305 live.
Mm-hmm. So, there you have it for the week, folks. Thank you for joining us, as always.
Indeed. It was a weird week, as it has been for a few weeks. It's like, what's going on?
Well, interesting week, but there we have it. As per usual, we will see all of you next week for
Indeed.
more shenanigans.
Indeed.
Thank you, too, for joining me.
Absolutely.
I am James. Well, I should probably take so they can see you. Thank you, too, for joining me.
Absolutely.
I am James Phoenix, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Bye.